other super animal could we get Jason Statham to fight?
I'm gonna go balls to the wall and say Statham could go one-on-one with King Kong.
Oh, wow. Okay, regular-sized Statham with full-size King Kong.
Yes, correct.
Incredible. What do you think his tactic is going to be, and how will it involve his tremendous forehead?
I think he'd probably just like headbutt the building that Kong is hanging off. So
He's at ground level, just
so
smashing it apart with his head.
It just falls down, crushes Kong, just missing Jason Statham, who will say something one-linery, which I'm struggling with.
London Bridge is falling down. It's not London Bridge, Jace. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Have you got a permit for this? Smash. And down comes Kong.
Then he just walks past the rows and rows of tanks there, who are also arrayed there. And it's just like, overkill, don't you think? Flips them the bird, gets on a boat, sails off.
You only need the right tool. Oh, 'twas beauty that killed the beast. No, it's Jason Statham. Didn't you? Were you watching? Oh, no, sorry, I got here late. I thought I had more time, but Jason Statham got involved. Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that is detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. I'm Paul J.
I'm Becs. I was about to just give myself the surname Statham, like I could be married to Jason Statham. You know what? I'm Beck Statham. We got married. We're very happy.
It finally happened, folks. After that long campaign that he started. It's now finally here. Yes, Bex joins me because we've been sucked back out of the history hole, this has never happened before, and tossed back into the salty sea of recommendations month. Thanks, Bob Mortimer, and your mole fishing policies. Yes, that is due to scheduling conflicts, that is. But it's good, because as well as closing off the recommendations month, we're also heading into the uncharted waters of our most exciting season yet. Yes, it's the unrelenting thrill fest that I am calling Algorithm Month. Yes. For the next 5 weeks, we are going to exclusively cover films with some kind of relevance to that week's new releases.
Ooh.
It's a bold new approach and a very exciting development to occur to me 335 episodes into this podcast.
Listen, you've got to start sometime thinking about
you've
that
got
algorithm.
to just concede. You know what? We can't just keep reviewing The Creeping Terror and hoping that it's relevant. And then eggs on our face when Ben Wheatley remakes The Creeping Terror two weeks from now.
Yeah.
And our episode's already done and dusted. So it's going to change, and it's going to happen right here. Yeah, and where better to start than with this year's long-awaited, I guess, sequel to the 2018 Statham Shark Fest. It's The Meg 2, The Trench.
Jonas, we need your help. We're detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. It's an ancient ecosystem untouched by man. Whatever is down there is trying to make its way to the surface. This is a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
It was long awaited by me. I don't know about anybody else in the world.
We should offer some background on that because, of course, famously, you were due to do The Meg in our September Statham month last year. But then, again, the scheduling conflicts got in the way. And we weren't, unfortunately,
I'm
willing
the
to
problem.
move.
It's me.
It was our fault. We should have once again swapped it around. But you ended up doing the transporter, and the Meg was largely spoken about in your absence by myself, Monsieur Goodman, and Ellen Graham.
Yes.
Did you hear that episode in the end?
I think so, yeah. I must have done. I mean, I listened to them all, so presumably, yes.
Presumably. It was not overwhelmingly positive.
I think that's maybe why I don't remember it, because I was like, well, that's wrong, and just...
Oh, fuck all of you. That was your OG team contribution for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you all. Fuck you all again. And fuck you all a third time. It's a masterpiece.
Wow, I didn't think they'd care so much about Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, God. Yes, it's... So, back in 2018, when this movie came out, Statham said there was room for a sequel if the first one did well. A truth that I think is universal to Statham films. Like, there would never be one where he's like, you know what? That was perfect. Let's never do another one of those.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No matter how much money it makes.
I don't think so, no.
No, Hummingbird 2, I think, will be coming to a cinema near you. At some stage. Safe 2, even safer. The original author of the novel series that this fucking thing is apparently based on, and I was as surprised in it last time, and I still am, that this is a novel series adaptation. Hey, there are bad books out there, you know? It's fine. Steve Alton said, my feeling has always been that this is $1 billion franchise if it was done right. But to be done right, you had to get the shark right. Ah, yes. The shark is the key.
The main character, the shark.
Yeah. The eponymous.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to get that shark right. And it looks like they did, because the Meg made money, and so we have a sequel. It was written by the same team as the last movie. Oh dear. And that is John and Eric Hober, whose past credits include Whiteout, Red, Battleship, Red 2, My Spy, and Transformers Rise of the Beast starring Optimus Primal. I mean, I say include, but...
Sorry, Optimus Primal?
Yeah, they made one called Optimus Primal. Which my housemate Jack did rightfully point out.
Oh,
he was a big monkey robot, and he should have been called Optimus Primate.
Yeah, they fell
Quite
down
better.
there.
And, you know, the marketing did not indicate there were two Optimus Prime-esque beings, and the tagline wasn't, who is the optimal prime?
So what you're saying to me is that this marketing team need to be fired.
What I'm saying is this script was terrible. Because script writers write the marketing thing as well, right?
Yes, 100%.
Of course.
Famously.
That's why posters are so creative. They are currently working on a Red TV show, a sequel to My Spy called The Eternal City. What? I thought that was just a spy satire. It's called The Eternal City. Okay. It gets really abstract. At the end of the last one, they find a parallel dimension. And they're also working on a Naruto movie. He is also involved in a movie called... Sorry, they are also involved in a movie called Fast and Loose, starring Will Smith, that for some reason Netflix is not currently moving forward with.
Well, I wonder why. Can't think.
The other writer on this is Dean Giagaris, who wrote Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. The second one.
Oh.
Without Daniel Craig.
The
Or was
bad
that the one with Daniel Craig?
No, the first one's the one with Daniel Craig.
Another guy shows up, doesn't he, to be in...
Yes, and it's someone really funny, and I can't think about who it is right now.
Is it Eric Bana?
Cradle. It's Jared Butler.
Jared Butler! That's right, so it is. God, he'd have been interesting. That would be an interesting crossover. Has Butler and Statham never gone beard to head? I don't think they have.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, we need to launch a you know what we need? A spin-off in the Expendables where Statham starts up his own all-British run of Expendables, and it's going to be Gerard Butler. It's going to be Ross Kemp. It's going to be Danny Dyer. And who else is rubbish? Who else is really shit?
I don't know, I've run out of people. You've named them all.
I've run out of hard British men. Dang. Well, it'll be coming to a pub, second floor near you. What's the word? Who knows? You okay?
Yes.
Are you...
I was just checking to see if they've ever been in a film together.
Have they?
I can't tell whether all of these posters are fake. I think they might be. I think there's a lot of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they have. Although it looks like they are friends, which is nice.
Oh, that is nice. I'm glad to know that. I hope they hang out and discuss the sharks they could punch if they were a little braver. He also wrote Paycheck, the worst John Woo movie, the Manchurian Candidate remake, and Tristan and Isolde, which, curiously, I have just here.
Oh.
Just here in the history section.
Interesting.
Tristing.
Interesting.
I remember it being alright. Anyway, then it's just TV and the Meg movies for that guy, so there you go.
That's fair.
He's clearly an expert. The bookman, Steve Alton, said that he was interested in this one because of its dark tone.
Sure. For the first half before it totally shifted. Yeah. Gotcha.
Maybe that was before Ben Wheatley got involved. Because, yes, for anyone who doesn't know, perhaps this is your first time listening to the podcast, as we do often mention Wheatley and have included him as one of the filmmakers in the Films You May Have Missed episodes, way back when. But yes, Ben Wheatley is a British filmmaker who makes low to mid-budget genre movies that range from interesting but flawed to utterly fantastic. My favourites include Kill List, A Field in England, Happy New Year, Colin Bursted, and In the Earth. And he directed this. It's certainly his biggest film, even bigger than Sightseers. I saw him interviewed. He declined to mention whether or not Statham had seen any of his work before getting involved. I really like that Sightseers.
Listen, you never know, okay?
You never know.
We don't know how Jason Statham spends his evenings. He's such like a private person for such a famous person, you know? I just never hear about him ever, except when I'm actively watching him in a film.
I just can't help but imagine that he puts on a football shirt and disappears into a crowd of cockneys. Like Hannibal Lecter at the end of Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that also checks out, yeah.
Dr. Statham? Dr. Statham? Nah. It's just, like, critics reacted to Meg 2 The Trench like this is a truly terrible idea. Robbie Collin at the Daily Telegraph said, Meg 2 by design is a completely anonymous bag of lukewarm McDonald's. It's hard to be mad at it, but only because nothing in it stands out enough to get mad at. I want to address this image he has conjured.
I mean, joke's on him because I quite like cold McDonald's chips, so this is yet more proof that this film is made specifically for me, actually, and nobody else.
So, first of all, a bag of McDonald's is an interesting idea, that just the food is so generic it could just be McDonald's. I've gotten you some McDonald's. What McDonald's did you get me? It doesn't matter. I got you 500 grams of McDonald's. Also, that it's anonymous.
It's McDonald's, but without the branding.
It's McDonald's has been found at an airport and safely destroyed by robots. So, yeah, Robbie Collin did not have a good time.
Clearly.
The public, meanwhile, detected increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench.
I've already used that one.
Yeah, there's not a lot of quotes available for this film yet, and I don't remember any that aren't Jason Statham saying, the Meg.
That's fair.
That's the only quote I remember.
I've got 2.
Ooh.
In my brain.
I'm looking forward to getting to those. Are they coming up in quickfire or plot?
Quickfire, very much quickfire.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait. Yes, Cy Marie on Google said, I was honestly surprised by how much I loved it, but I think it's because this one started out action-packed and immediately drew you into the tale in a way that I found refreshing and fun. It was actually a better film than the first one, and I was very surprised with Jason Statham's acting in such a caring and protective role where he was pure of heart and conviction, while still smart and adept, as always.
Okay.
As always, smart and adept.
I am offended by the idea that this is the first time they've realised that Jason Statham can act. Fuck you, he's a genius.
He's always been caring and protective. Watch Safe.
He has to me, my husband, Jason Statham.
And if that hasn't translated to screen, that's your problem.
Sounds like a you problem.
He was protective and safe in the transporter when he threw that woman at the police.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Anyway, we've got a lot of two men. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did the Meg. That will explain it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That checks out.
That counts for that. Just the 2 3-men, though. We've got Cliff Curtis, who I am staggered to discover played the frightening gangster in Training Day. He's so nice. But also a New Zealander of Maori descent. The guy in Training Day was Mexican. Come on, naughties.
Ooh, listen.
Come on, guys. Do better. But yeah, he was in both Megs and The Last Airbender, where he was funny, but not necessarily on purpose, so he's a 3-man. Then, of course, The Stafe is a 7-man, because we did a whole season of his films last year, so that happens.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
I remember doing that just before the start of term for my degree, and having a real sense that being able to watch Death Race and The Italian Job when I didn't actually need to was like the end of my free time opulence before the real work began. It was like the last summer of my youth.
Yeah, it has big vibes of that, right? I can't remember the last time. When we met up for this, I think you'd seen 2 other films that day. I can't remember the last time I did that, but I'm pretty sure I was at university.
Yeah, and that's only happened because the placement finally came to an end last week, and this is my summer vacay, I guess, before September starts up again. Ugh. Oh God, this is what I do. This is my spring break as I go and watch The Haunted Mansion, and I think it was Blue Beetle. No, it was Strays and Blue Beetle. Yeah. That's what it was. God, that was the appetizers I was working with here, the amuse-bouche, before I stuck into my main of Meg 2.
A very, very tasty Meg 2.
A very tasty slab of Stafe. Meg 2 The Trench has 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 40 on IMDb, 40 on Metacritic, that is, 5.5 on IMDb, a mind-exploding 87% on Google, and made $320 million on a $139 million budget.
I'm genuinely, this isn't me doing a bit surprised anymore. 29%? That's so low!
I know, it's so low. What did the Meg 1 get? Let's have a look. No, fuck off.
What did it get?
No, that's for... Oh my God. It's looking like this is telling me that Meg 1 got 46%.
That checks out. That's more what I was expecting for the Meg 2.
Well, yeah, I'd flip those easily.
No,
spoiler alert for my opinion.
Yeah, spoiler alert for Paul's opinion. Spoiler for my opinion, I still think the first one is the better one.
No way.
Yeah, you want to know why specifically?
Why?
Jason Statham was not shirtless in this. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's true. That is a great fall.
That is true. He was not shirtless in this one, but that's not the reason why.
Well, we'll get more into that later, but more into why the first one was worse than this one, not more into why Jason Statham was not shirtless in this. I don't know why. It feels like Ben Wheatley would be super up for that, but
you know what it was is that the only time, so usually his shirtless scenes are either when he's showering or when he's doing pull-ups. He was only doing pull-ups at the beginning, but he was in a very cold cargo container, so they presumably were like, well, they can't be shirtless. And then he didn't have time for a shower the whole film. He was too busy.
I forgot about the container bit of this.
Well, don't worry. I remember it well.
Excellent. Well, look, this movie made money, so hopefully we shall get adaptations of more Meg novels, which both Statham and Wheatley have expressed an interest in doing, and I really hope they get to the 4th novel, Meg 4, Hell's Aquarium.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. The next one, the 3rd one, I think is set on like a Statham's character becomes a consultant in a reality TV show. Which is then attacked by Megs.
I'm done with eco-terrorism, actually.
Fuck this.
I want to work for TV.
I want to increase my chances of meeting Kim Kardashian, even if slightly. Oh God, so Becs, you apex predator.
That's me.
What's one thing about the Meg 2, The Trench, that made you detect increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench?
We're sticking with that one, huh?
3's the rule. I'm out.
We all know that my whole long and lonely life, I've been dreaming of Jason Statham doing shark movies.
Oh, yeah.
And I was jump scared by the poster for the first one when I was in Australia visiting a friend.
Yep.
And we had just days ago been having a conversation like, man, I really wish they would combine my 2 favorite things in the world. Shark films and Jason Statham.
And God was listening.
And so ever since then, I've just been waiting. But never stopping moving like a shark.
Like a Jason Statham.
Like a Jason Statham.
Can't stop moving.
Then the Meg 2 came out and you said, hey, do you want to come see it? And I was like, obviously.
Absolutely. And we should disclose that basically we ended up seeing it about 2 weeks late. And Barbenheimer is still very much in full swing. So that is chasing a lot of the big movies out of the main screen, which is just great that Barbenheimer chased the Meg out of the big IMAX screens. It's so weird and lovely. But nevertheless, that happened. And I was worried. I was worried we wouldn't be able to find a decent viewing experience of the Meg 2. And then I found it.
The Holy Grail.
Cineworld O2 was serving this delicious dish in 4DX.
Sorry, 3D 4DX. Let's not.
Well, I think one of the Ds
No.
is...
On the website, it said 3D 4DX.
That's so dumb. Cineworld. No, come on.
Because I said the same thing when I saw it. I was like, well, surely the 3D is included in the 4D.
No, the DX all... Well, you tell us, what happens in 4DX?
Okay, so... First, I'm going to start off with a recommendation for any of my tit havers out there. You're going to want to put on a sports bra, because I had to watch the whole film clutching my chest.
Yes, it was a situation.
So, what you've got...
We were all at risk.
Okay, let's start with your seat vibrates.
Yes,
Sometimes
vibrates.
A little vibratey. I won't go any further.
Oh, yes, in the seat there is a vibrator.
There really is.
Which is unfortunately placed quite close to the front of the seat.
You know what? There's just no way to sit that doesn't make it sometimes a bit weird. I'll say that.
Sometimes everybody in the audience went a bit quiet.
Your seat can also kick you in the kidneys when Jason Statham kicks a man in the kidneys.
Yep, it's got one of Jason Statham's many feet lodged in the thing that will spontaneously kick when it detects that its master commands it.
And make you go, hang on, am I the bad guy here? Why am I getting beaten up?
Statham is nothing if not just.
Your seat will also throw you around like you're riding a rodeo bull.
Yep.
To the point where I'm quite short and my feet didn't reach the little like foot plate that's there for you to, I guess, brace yourself on. And there were moments where I was genuinely worried I was just going to slip and slide right out of that seat because also we were quite damp because there's something that sprays water on you whenever there's water on screen.
From in front of you and drips
And
water on you from above.
Yes.
And there's also...
There's two little things behind your head that fire air out anytime anyone shoots a bullet. Now the experience of this is twofold. One, it surprises you every time. Lots of little jump scares. And two, because it's much closer to your ears than the giant speakers of the cinema, it makes it sound like every bullet goes pff, which is very underwhelming.
It's quite a noisy experience in general. The water jets as well just kind of go pss, pss. It's just very silly.
Then there is also there's a light
3 more.
That flashes every time something glints.
Yep, well there's an explosion.
On screen, there's like smoke machines. They're specifically to gas people who are walking in late. And we did see that happen. It was wonderful.
Someone came in late and just got gassed. Incredible. I can think of one more.
What was the other one?
One little guy.
Oh my god, there's a little rat tail between your legs that will just whip around when exciting things are happening to make you feel like there's a rodent climbing up your trousers.
Hooray! I was still too tall for that one. My legs went out too far from the seat, so I didn't ever get to feel the little tingler.
Well, I was very much not. As previously mentioned, I'm quite short, so it was actually like directly at ankle bone level for me. So it was quite uncomfortable smacking against my ankle bones. So what I'm saying, dear listeners, is do not under any circumstances watch this in 4DX. It actively detracts from the experience.
I would say only watch this in 4DX is the thing. Like, The Meg 2, I feel like, is the only movie that should ever be showing in 4DX. I've been a few times, and it's always... of course, it's massively distracting for the cinema experience. But when is a movie going to be better suited to it than this? This should be a permanent exhibit at every Cineworld. It's The Meg 2 showing in 4DX.
There is one thing which supersedes The Meg 2 as the film for 4DX, and that's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
The original experience.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, we spent 25 minutes talking about 4DX, so Let's quickly run down what we remember of the plot, because yes, this is the first, I think it's the third time in this podcast history where we've reviewed something that's still in cinemas after Don't Worry, Darling and Assassin's Creed way
Which
back
makes
in
the
the day.
cinema a three-man.
Ah, get in the bin, cinema.
Oh, free to a man.
You've had your time. To be honest, I did also struggle to pay attention to the first half hour because of how noisy our audience was.
They really were, yeah.
They were just talking out loud, but I felt such an asshole. I couldn't turn around and be like, "Do you mind?" Just shaking around at my cat
Well,
thing
also,
and
here's the
water
thing.
sprayed at my
If you
face.
turned around to that chair, there's genuine risk you would have got punched in the face by your chair, and that's like...
It's like we're in their territory now. We have to just accept that this is madness. But it's the bit from the trailer, isn't it? It's some dinosaurs
Yes.
roaming around, and then one gets eaten by the titular Meg.
Which can't possibly have been in the water that right next to the
Yes, the
beach.
shallow water. It snuck up on a T-Rex. He launched himself from about 500 feet out.
Then his mates pulled him back on a rope.
His other Meg mates. Ugh, those guys are dicks. I hate them. I don't think we learn anything important in that. I think it's just a cool opening sequence.
Well, we get a sneak preview of some future characters.
Ah,
The little...
okay. Oh, the little dino
swimming
dudes.
Lizard dino dicks.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
So that we're establishing Chekhov's dinosaur early on.
Okay, and then do we then get modern people being attacked on a boat, or do we cut straight to
We
Stath?
cut
Because I mix
straight
up.
to Jason Statham.
Right.
Under Pressure starts playing. He's doing pull-ups in a cargo container. Ask me why I
That's
remember
right.
this bit specifically.
Which he blows his way out of
Yes.
using explosives. And I do wonder if this is just his regular getting up routine.
he seals himself up in a cargo container every evening.
I've got to. It's the only way that the neighbours will be safe. And then he does that. And yeah, it turns out it's 5 years after the last movie, and Statham is fighting environmental causes. Literally. He's beating up dudes who are just tipping big yellow barrels full of green goo with skull and crossbones on them into the side of the ocean.
After threatening their parrot.
Ah, those dicks. So, yeah, he kicks them. He kicks all of the bad guys and us. And he kicks one of them into a barrel and creates the bad guy for the next movie, Shark Guy. Beware Shark Guy.
He's a shark and a guy.
No, he's got all the powers of both. Terrible teeth and mansplaining. No. Oh, don't try and sit next to him on a tube. Oh, by the way, Su Yin died. The love interest and supporting lead of the last movie. She died off screen. Oops.
It took me quite a long time to clock that, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. You know, giant sharks are scary, but the cholesterol is the real killer.
I also think we need to specify he did get saved from the Philippine Sea by being scooped up into an airplane with a little breathing tube
I forgot about the
on.
airplane scoop. That's right, they come and scoop him up.
In, like, I guess one of those planes, you know, where that fight fires, where they just scoop up water and then just dump it. They scoop him up with one of those, and then he just rolls out onto the tarmac.
Yeah, just
the
panting
airport.
as if he held his breath the entire time. It's so funny. Oh, God.
I
yeah,
was
so
already
that-
crying with laughter at this point. It must be noted.
It's very good. And at this stage, we meet the rest of our characters. We've got, the little Su-Yin's little kid, Mei Ying, who I, of course, shall refer to as Timmy, just like all of the unfortunate children in all films, which is all children because they're all unfortunate. It would be racist for me to treat this particular little Timmy differently.
You're right. Little Timmy.
Little Timmy. And there's Timmy's uncle, Juming, who's played by Wu Jing, who shall be Uncle Alternate Main Character, because the movie sometimes struggles to decide who the lead of this movie is.
I'm going to go ahead and call him Jason Statham's boyfriend, but you do you.
I love that. Mr. Statham. They all live together in Shark Mansion. Big ocean house with sharks. Yeah, this is going to be bad. This plot rundown's going to be bad.
Okay, no, there's a gala going on.
There is a gala to celebrate the new thunder of Shark Mansion. It's, evil white businesswoman. For some reason, the Chinese censors are okay with this choice of villain.
Yeah, notably. The bad guys are the Westerners, obviously.
Fuck yeah. Shark House have a Meg that they've been studying. Uncle main character thinks he's been tamed. Sorry, Mr. Statham. It's going to be Jason Statham and Mr. Statham from now on, folks. Keep up. Mr. Statham thinks he's tamed this particular Meg.
They have a special bond.
And he just uses a little clicker, which is significantly less stupid than Chris Pratt's hand thing.
True. Very true.
This thing clicks. He seems to have the same bond with the Meg that you might have with a cat that you think you own. You know, and just like a cat, it does immediately fuck off, and they don't see it for about a week.
Yep.
It's fair.
It tries to bite you first, though, but you go, oh, I just activated its play reflex. It's fine,
It's
he
fine.
loves me.
Definitely more afraid of me than I am of him. Legs come off. Yeah, they decide they're going to go see if they can find the shark, I think, or at least investigate the trench.
No.
Uh-huh.
No, Paul. You've got this all backwards.
Oh, God.
He goes, I'm swimming with the shark because I've trained it. Everyone's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
He almost gets eaten in front of his niece.
Yes.
But then the door opens and he's somehow already inside and is like, ha,
Yes.
I told you. Then they're just going on a regular research dive. They're mapping out the trench because they've now built special tech that lets them just go through
robots. Mech suits.
What's it called?
Oh, the layer of cold that lets you go through it. The thin layer of cold water that keeps animals trapped down there, except all the times it doesn't do that.
Yeah. They're just going on a regular old dive, but unbeknownst to them, the Meg has escaped and follows them.
Oh, okay. Good
so they're
stuff.
suddenly like, actually, bone to pick. They're like, my God, the Meg, it's following us. And they're like, oh, that's impossible. It can't have escaped. And they waste some time arguing about that. And then they're like, our only option is to go through the marine layer because it can't follow us. So they go through the marine layer and the Meg immediately follows them. That's never explained or addressed.
Nope. It's just it really wanted it. That's the thing. To get through that layer of cold, inhospitable water, you just gotta
be
really
pure
want
of
it.
heart.
Just a reminder, I did mention in the first Meg plot rundown that in the original book, the first book, the Meg escapes by they're towing, using a submarine, a dead Meg out. I think a recently deceased Meg out of the thing, and the live one comes up behind and bites into it, and the still warm blood from the dead Meg is able to warm the alive Meg enough to keep it alive as it goes through the cold barrier.
Sure.
It's a Meg. Approaching fast.
That's not possible. They can't go through the thermocline.
The thermocline. That's what it's called.
That's it, the thermocline. Yeah. It's Calvin Klein's most interesting brand yet. Yeah, unfortunately, that troublesome Timmy has stowed away as well, very much like the Meg.
Yes.
They have a lot in common. A spiritual bond, really, which will be explored greatly in the Meg 5. So, yes, Timmy's here. What are we going to do? Oh, the subs are going down. So, yeah, Cat Shark, I'm calling it, chases them down there. And they meet two even megara Megs whilst they're down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
That's gotta be the apex predator.
Who has some sex with Cat Shark.
Horny Megs.
Two horny Megs, and they all have a bit of a freak. They get their freak on. It's Wheatley's kinkiest sex scene since Hiddleston and pregnant Elizabeth Moss in High Rise.
Everyone's watching too.
And once again, it really does it for me. Jason Statham watching it really, really adds to it.
That's all you want, really, isn't it?
You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Whilst they're down there, they also find an illegal mining operation being managed by the evil mercenary, not Pedro Pascal.
That's what I wrote as well.
Yeah, I thought Pedro Pascal, like pas in French, is not, but like Pedro. So yeah, I appreciate it's not very obvious when it's spoken and not written, but at least it's going to mean that spell checker is having a nightmare with numbers. Did you mean anything but this? This is nonsense. I know, word checker. I'm sorry you have to be here when I write OGT stuff. You're trying your best, and I appreciate that, but sometimes I do actually want to write Pedro Pascal. Never give up on me, please, word checker.
You want to just go ahead and turn that spell checker off.
I might turn it off.
Spare it is suffering,
Anyway, Pedno causes an explosion which grounds both subs.
And just kills all his own workers. Because he's evil.
Oh no! He's untrustworthy. And he's going to get a bad review from he's going to get a bad quarterly review from his employees, the ones who are still alive. So it's a little tricky to know what's happening at this stage because we are getting thrown out of our chairs and hosed down. But
Quite intensely. Incidentally, I did subsequently think, how often do these water lines get cleaned? Am I going to get like Legionnaire's disease from this cinema trip?
Don't worry, it's being pumped directly out of the soda machines. What a way to go, though. Legionella's disease from 4DX the Meg 2. He died the way they lived. Oh, God. But it turns out the rescue pod has been sabotaged by someone, very subtly, I bet. So they have time to put on mech suits, and get to the special base.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna hike across the bottom of the trench.
Yeah.
And make it there. And I'm like, wow, this whole movie's going to be set underwater. And then we kind of almost immediately cut to, it's 400 meters away. And I'm like, oh, okay. But by this time, I think we've already lost 2 of the original cast.
Yes,
I can't keep track of because I saw them so briefly. I know that one is a Comic-Con nerd, and that's the only characterization I got for any of them.
What's with all these toys you've hanging around your console, Lance?
They're not toys, they're figurines.
They are definitely toys, Lance.
Thank you.
So are you and Sal like Comic-Con guys?
Or what?
Absolutely right, yeah.
Do you,
Dress up?
Yeah?
Don't get him started unless you want to see a million photographs.
Oh, yes, please.
Stay focused, guys.
They die almost immediately, in spite of the superpowered meg suits, and then the other one dies when their faceplate cracks and breaks all the way. Is there another?
So someone got octopused, but like no one saw it happen. They just saw the like helmet,
that's right,
like float down.
That's right.
And then one of them is running out of oxygen when they're running towards the airlock, and just is like, lets the shark take her.
Oh, okay, so then there's the third one who dies in the airlock.
Yes.
Okay, right. Good stuff.
But we're missing one of my favorite parts of the film.
Oh?
Which is, as they are trying to make it to the airlock, there are not only little swimming lizard dinosaur motherfuckers, but the Megs come.
Yeah.
And in order to try and give everyone time to get to the airlock, Mr. Statham cracks a flare and then just fully goes Gandalf at Helm's Deep, just running out into the darkness with this bright white light, like chasing off the Megs like they're the fucking Nazgul. I lean over and go, "It's Gandalf!" and I'm nearly thrown out of my seat for my trouble.
It was worth it.
And then Jason Statham turns up and is like, "You really want to die, don't you?" And puts the flare into like his spear gun and just launches it off to save his boyfriend.
He's so protective.
Then they get into the airlock and then someone's faceplate shatters before it's equalized and they implode to death. Yes.
There you go. So we've lost 3. Thank God for these mexes. We're left with Statham, Mr. Statham, Timmy, and Regus, who was here because Ruby Rose was too busy being pissed at Hollywood because Batwoman. Fair.
Yes.
We're going to call Regus Newbie Rose.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, though, this base looks sketchy. It's a good thing we still have our super powerful mech suits with just a little bit of juice left in them. So they take those off immediately and wander around.
Yep. Although, luckily, what they immediately find in this base is more mech suits. How did this tech get down here? Who could possibly have done this?
Do they literally get changed into new mech suits? I don't even remember this.
No, they don't get changed into them. They're just like, oh, look, these are my mech suits. I made these. How are they here?
God.
And then they move on.
Dun, 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 dun. So very shortly after they find themselves trapped in an escape pod bay.
I feel like we're also missing out on the surface. Their surface friends are doing some investigating.
Yes, we have 2 comic relief dudes. We have The Last Airbender, and we have DJ, whose most prominent role before this was probably SWAT, but he was also in a movie called Freaky Deaky, so obviously I'm going to be calling him that.
Yeah, that checks out. And definitely not Suspicious Felicity.
Oh, Felicity. But they find out that the bad guys are evil white businesswoman, goodness, and the lady in the chair for the group, who, yes,
Felicity.
Felicity, oh no. This is bad timings. So there's a tense standoff where Newbie Rose might be about to shoot the Stafe, but, you know, and you know,
directly
it's
in the heart.
heartbreaking.
It's okay. I know you don't have one.
Well, you nearly killed me. You gotta shoot me in the heart, though. Nothing gets through my head.
Solid titanium. That's how I'm about to survive what happens next.
Yes, it needs to be. Because, yes, the bad guys eject all of the pods. It looks like we're trapped. Unless we can come up with something really, really dumb.
Okay, and so what we're coming up with is Jason Statham getting into an airlock and just leaving the station without any sort of protective gear on. He's just in whatever he was wearing, like, 25,000 feet below the ocean, but it's fine because he pushed all the air out of his sinuses, so he's fine now.
That's what gets you with pressure. It's not having the weight of 25,000, things of water above you.
Or affecting the oxygen in your bloodstream or in your lungs.
Nope, nothing like that.
No, it's just the sinuses.
The sinuses. If you've got a Vicks vapor rub, you'll be fine.
Don't worry about the woman who just exploded.
She didn't believe.
Her sinuses, too airy.
Yeah. Not only is he fine after this, but he has a fist fight with Pedno. Which they get away from. I can't remember how it works or what happens. They just fight for a bit and then
they're
stop.
Definitely, at some point, they accidentally activate a little ramp that's taking stuff up to be crushed in a miner. They have a little fight on there.
Yeah,
Classic
no one gets fed into
Statham.
it. It's a shame. But yeah, they get back to the surface. Everybody gets back to the surface and finds that 3 megs, some lizards, and an octopus have escaped and are all converging on the same small island.
Fun island.
And then after that, I think we'll just say the ending happens, because I think we could probably end our rundown here for 2 reasons. First, it is still in cinemas, so we should probably give people more of a chance to go see it for themselves.
True.
But second, just crazy shit starts happening that would be absolutely exhausting to actually break down and lay out of, like, they run into here and then he goes over here.
Yeah, I think we can just say
everywhere.
for the second half, everyone's there, including 3 megs, a giant octopus, and some dinosaurs that can both swim and for some reason, despite millions of years of evolution, can still walk even though they've been trapped under the thermocline the whole time.
That's ancestral memory.
And it's an action film. We nearly get thrown out of our seats a lot at this point.
We certainly do. And yeah, the movie eventually ends. And the writers brainstorm if they can come up with a pun as good as Finn, ? But they can't, so it just ends.
Come on, you ugly bastard.
And that's the Meg to the Trench. So, how was it?
It was aside from my concerns for my physical health during the film.
Sure. Yeah, we got battered.
And my absolutely not supportive enough bra. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
It was it was very much like a film of 2 halves. I think it was a bit too grim and serious in the first half, really. But then in the second half just went absolutely nuts. I feel like there could maybe have been a better balance of that. I don't know. But yeah, it was good. It was funny. It was silly. It was an action film. It was everything I want out of Jason Statham and a shark film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Recommend. Go see it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I had fun, and that was my big complaint with the first one. And of course, last time we had a big discussion about the big word that we used to describe it. Me and all the other film critics, it seems quite embarrassingly, was toothless. Mm-hmm. We talked about how it didn't really have the nerve to do anything sort of particularly shocking or affecting, and even came down to the character dynamics, where everyone was just sort of generally kind of amicable, and there was just no real tension. In this, there's fun between the characters. The characters are so much funnier. Like, I heard a clip of DJ from the last movie, and it's like, oh my god, that's night and day. Being written by... Well, it's crazy, though, because it's the same people writing it. So I don't know if he was just allowed to improvise a bit more, the actor, or if Wheatley got involved.
I mean, I think his character arc was a lot more fun. I think they definitely, when they were writing this, they sat down and kind of looked at him and were like, okay, well, we have to have him back, and this is how we have to have him back. And they went, yes. Yeah. And it's kind of worked around that, So he got to be so much funnier and do so much more, which is lovely. Yeah. And him and his little buddy were a great duo to cut back and forth from.
Yeah. they did that great thing where they made the comic relief comic character actually somewhat competent, because obviously the main thing to do is to just have them not be able to do anything, and it's just embarrassing. But it reminds me of in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Boyle. Boyle is actually quite good at being a cop in spite of being a massive
it's just that he's
joke.
a funny little guy.
He's just a funny little dude, but if he needs to run into a building and tackle a guy, he'll just do that. You know? I like that. I like that kind of thing, and I enjoyed, very much DJ's character in this. But that just extends to everything. Everything just felt a bit more developed, a bit more fun, and a bit more realized from the last one, which kind of had a sense of what it needed to be, but didn't end up doing it, or just fell short. And maybe you can put that down to the direction. I believe the director of the last one was John Turteltaub, quite memorably.
What a name.
What a name. And what a CV as well, if I remember correctly.
That is my next D&D character.
Turteltaub.
Yep.
It's quite something. But yeah, here, I don't know. It's very hard to trace the feeling of Wheatley. You'll see in my quickfires, there's a couple of moments where I feel like some things from him have gotten in. But it's hard to sort of pinpoint and say, oh yeah, that's from the director of A Field in England. It's it's very unusual. But nevertheless, what this feels like is a much more assured blockbuster. And I don't understand the critics who have said that it just isn't fun enough, because although it does, I think, lose itself a couple of times, and I think maybe the final act does go on a bit long, and you're right about the first act, I think maybe it does take itself a bit too seriously and could do with being a bit more fun. But my god, is that a step up from the last one? I don't get why people didn't enjoy this more, and maybe it's just because we were in 4DX, so things like the submarine chase felt insane.
Yeah.
I think,
And also the jet ski jousting moment.
Yes, oh my
4DX
god.
was sure something.
It was unbelievable.
Sprayed down with a hose whilst your chair tried to turn you upside down.
Yeah, oh god, it was extraordinary, and just a perfect experience for that. This for me felt like a sort of quintessential summer blockbuster in a way that was very entertaining. It's nothing particularly special, and maybe you would hope for having Wheatley involved it would be elevated in some way. And he did compare this to movies like Mothra and the old big monster movies of the 60s and such when I saw him interviewed. And I'd like to have seen more of a spirit of that, but I can't necessarily fault it. Like, it has meager ambitions and it succeeds in them from what I can see, so...
I think sometimes a film doesn't have to be groundbreaking, if that's not what it's trying to be. If it's like, hey, we've got a big fucking shark and we've got Jason Statham, let's have a good time. Then if you have a good time, it's, as far as I'm concerned, a successful film.
And it's good timing, I think, as well, because Barbie and Oppenheimer have really just blown open the doors of perception in terms of what can be a big film.
Yeah.
And you really hope that that's something that, although Hollywood's going to learn all the wrong lessons from that, it's going to make more toy movies in response to Barbie, and I don't know what it's going to do for Oppenheimer. People like 3-hour documentaries about famous physicists. Get on it! I want that Feynman script on my desk by next week. God knows what they'll do for that, but they'll learn the worst things, definitely.
Yeah,
for
sure.
They'll look at whatever the most... Oh, people like it when women have sex with guys in front of a board meeting. Do that.
I haven't seen Oppenheimer. That's news to me.
It's quite the scene.
It sounds like it.
It's very abstract. I quite like it. But anyway, it's it'd be fun. It's nice to have fun movies also. Yeah. So with that said, let's quickfire. Quickfire. And can I just say, considering I was writing this from memories of the movie, I have like twice as many as I had when we did the Meg 2 last year. So
I don't know
if I have with you.
I don't know if I have that many.
Okay.
But I've got to give you.
I'll start just in case I've got more. I'll say the prehistoric bit's quite fun. Like with the dinosaurs. It was a great trailer because you're watching it like, is there any Jurassic Park movie out or something? Like, what is this?
I genuinely did that.
Yeah.
I was in the cinema. Yeah. I was watching Barbie. I was with my sister. That came up and we both looked at each other and I went, surely they're not making another one. And then the shark went, home. And I was like,
yeah. Yes! That's such a shift in expectations to go from
an incredible
another
bait
Jurassic
switch.
Park to bait and switch.
You heard me. I'm just going to start off with my favourite bit from the right at the beginning when he's fighting some bad people on a boat.
Yep.
And they've got him surrounded. They're just standing on top of these containers and he does the most 14-year-old thing ever and he says, oh, you're going to want to see the warrant. because he's told them they're all under arrest, and he searches his pockets with both hands, brings them out, middle fingers up, and then just falls backwards into the ocean.
Yeah, with a lip bite as well. It's very good.
And it was just a great moment. And,
it was very good.
Things like that make me very happy to be married to Jason Statham.
To both of them. And then, can I just say, I really like that they found more physical stuff for them both to be doing, like actual jumping and running and fighting and like kicking dudes. It was yeah.
Well, that's what you want
nice.
Out of a
That's
Jason Statham film.
They found, because otherwise this is just a big CGI shark attacks people without blood.
Yeah.
So finding ways to make it physically exciting and not just full of CGI, like putting him on a jet ski and mounting a camera to the jet ski so that it actually picks up that this is a real stunt, makes it exciting. You know, makes it visceral and real. And I feel like that's something really big that Wheatley brought to this one. Also, a thing that he brought is there's a line in there where it's not the auction. So I feel like it was like an auction of Statham, but it's the unveiling of the funders or whatever, the board meeting thing, and a whole party of people are like obsessing over Statham, and who is it who's encouraging it? I think it might be
It's the niece, right? Meg-y.
Is it that no? Somebody's on the mic and it's like,
Someone's
there he
on
is.
stage,
Go on.
yeah.
I think it's
selfie.
Mac. Yeah, it's Mac. I think
You're right. It's Mac.
And he's like, he says, "Go on, give him a tickle."
Yes.
That felt like a Wheatley line. Give him a tickle. It's very good.
Beautiful. I really enjoyed Sienna. I don't know how you say her name. Guillory?
Ooh, I don't know. Who did she play?
She was a evil white woman, right?
Oh, okay, fun.
Let me check. I'm real bad.
I don't
at
think I know
names.
the actor.
Yes. You don't know her?
Ooh,
Oh,
not off the top of my head.
how?
You talk about like how great she is, and I'll look her up.
She's in so many Resident Evil films.
God.
She was also in Fortitude, which is one of my favorite TV shows.
Oh, I liked Fortitude. That's who that is.
Yeah.
Ah. Good Lord.
Anyway, I thought she was a wonderful villain, and I really so kind of two parts to this. One, I really enjoyed her wardrobe. I think there was some really great kind of like power suits in there that were very much immediately just told you everything you needed to know about her. Like, hello,
Yeah.
I am rich, powerful female boss. I take no shit, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna do dirty things, but I'm gonna keep my hands clean, because I'm wearing very expensive jewelry. So that, and also I just really enjoyed how quickly she got to devolve into villain monologuing, because she did it really wonderfully.
She did,
and in
some
like
of the
the
lines were
most
wonderful.
blatant way. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in a lot of times when a villain is doing something that's evil by everyone's standards, they'll at least kind of talk around it or whatever. And she was just like, we're going to mine the ocean for all it's got, and I don't care about the ecological consequences.
Yeah.
No one's going to fucking know anyway. And I was like, I can respect that.
I love that. I love how just mustache twirlingly evil she was.
Yeah.
It's great.
Amazing.
Speaking of evil, I really like Montez, the mercenary, killing his guys. Like, just really heartlessly, because they're on the radio being like, he's like, I'm going to have to blow it. And they're like, no, don't do it yet. We can get out of here. And then he just says something like, I'm sorry, and press the thing, and you hear them go, no! And then it explodes, and it's...
Yeah.
I don't know, everything to do with peril at the bottom of the ocean, I think, got to me. Because, like, I don't know, if, drowning is a massive anxiety of mine. The whole pressure thing is a really frightening idea. So, like, just death at the bottom of the sea is a very upsetting thing, and just consigning these guys to just die.
Yeah.
Well, quite quickly, but still, it was
But
pretty
horribly.
horrific. But horribly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, another since we're talking about no. I really enjoyed the way that he escaped, because he was also down in the research facility fist fighting Jason Statham, and the way that he escaped was strapping on a dive suit.
That's right.
And then just kind of like, I don't know what it was. It was like a little underwater weather balloon, and he just cut
it's
it
to
off
get
from
the
his
stuff up to
mooring.
the surface that they're
You're right.
mining.
The pods to get stuff up from the surface, and he just holds on to it. Like, sure, you're
Yeah.
just going to go through the thermocline like that? Great.
Of course he can.
I love that for you, but there's just a great shot of it, him kind of rising towards you with just two little hands holding on to this thing, and I was like, good for him.
Powered by hate. I've got two things pertaining to the pressure. First of all, the actual pressure death was horrible when it just sort of crashes and crunches, and you know, you get this awful sense of them knowing it's about to happen, and
Yeah,
they're
and they were
moments
so
away
close
from
to it
savior.
being,
Yeah,
safe. Yeah.
that's it. That makes it really horrible. But also, in spite of how absolutely ridiculous it is, Statham's no-breathing swim scene where he had to allow his sinuses to flood before he started was pretty horrific as an idea. Like, it got into that. The things that really get to me is the idea of, in order to survive, you have to do something horrible.
Yeah.
You know, like the airlock sequence from Event Horizon a couple of weeks ago, where you have to, like, breathe out all of your air before you get thrown into the vacuum kind of thing. Or there's the trap that always gets me in one of the Saw movies, I think it's the 5th one, is where someone is, like, has a box around their head that's filling up with water, and to escape it, they have to give themselves a tracheotomy so they can breathe through the pipe they've just stuck into their neck.
It's this idea, isn't it, that to survive, you have to overcome your natural instinct to survive.
Yes, that's the thing, and that really fucks me up. So I think, Statham doing that kind of did that for me, and Wheatley captures it quite well.
I think that was our only blood in the movie as well.
Yeah, yes, because there's a horrible nosebleed,
his nose bleeds when
his nose bleeds, and his vision is blurring. It's quite effective.
Yeah, that was pretty effective. I did enjoy that. These are in no order, by the way, except for the order that I remembered them in. This is going to be a very me one. We got some really nice big Statham smiles, and I don't think Statham is allowed to smile enough in his films.
No,
because he's got a really lovely smile.
We mentioned this in the first Meg. There's a bit right at the beginning where it's establishing that he's given up on, you know, the shark life, and he's just living in like a little town. And some guy like teases him about paying him back, and he just kind of laughs. He just kind of goes, ha ha, and it's like, oh my god, he laughed. Yeah,
right. So there was just some nice moments of Jason Statham being allowed to be happy and express feelings, and it doesn't happen enough because I think he just has a really lovely smile. Call me biased, I know he's my husband, but it brought me so much joy. So I enjoyed that they let him have some humanity as well as just punching things in the face.
I love when they do that, and I love it when it's based around, because usually the only humor that an action main character is allowed to find funny is when the comic relief character screws something up. Mm-hmm. Like if they drop a bunch of stuff and then the main character can go, huh. Yeah. Like that's what Vin Diesel is allowed to laugh at, and I feel like Statham unfortunately is too often pigeonholed there as well. Oh, you need to get away from the Diesel bunch. All of the Fun Island deaths, really, were just great. In particular, the shark's sort of attack, where it would just, like, launch people into the sky and then eat them as they fell back down. And a really horrific shot from inside of the shark, as it opens its mouth, some people float in, and it just chomps without having bitten into them. So there's this horrible idea of, oh my god, what's going to kill them?
Yes. Yeah, and that's on my list as well. That was going to be my next one, the shot from inside the shark's mouth, which I really like because, as you said, they don't get crushed by those teeth, but you know they're not going to live.
Yeah.
And also, we get several chomps. It's not like one shot. It's like an nom 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 shot, and it just really drove down. Like, it's moving fast and it's really big.
Yeah,
it can fit so many people in that mouth.
Yeah, and you're going to drift in with, like, your family, and you're going to be all in there together. Oh, God, it's horrible when you start thinking about it. Jesus. Yeah. Oh, God. But I loved it. It was very much like Nope.
Yeah. I really enjoyed there was one moment where the giant octopus just gently squeezed a shark to death. And the shark's eyes kind of bulged. And I was just like, fuck yeah.
This is cinema right here. Speaking of an unfortunate death, I really enjoyed Jess, the traitor, and her death, where I think they unfortunately put it in the trailer, where she's next to the big window, and they Samuel L. Jackson her, basically, from Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
She's just, like, turned her back, and she's like, relax, this thing's shark-proof. And
well, she's just talking about how she's just been promoted. She's just talking about how she's like, we can definitely get ahead of this. This place is shark-proof.
Yeah, and then it just bites through the window and gets her, and that's pretty fun.
But I did also like in that moment that Pedno was there. They were
they were an item.
And just like, it was actually quite a grim moment as he kind of like watched this happen, and you could see him reacting to that, but also the knowledge that if he doesn't immediately leave, he's going to die too. So he has to do like a little screaming, grief-fueled sprint. That was a nice moment. Yeah.
No! I enjoyed Ju-Ming jumping out of the helicopter with a spear. That's Mr.
In
Statham.
slow motion.
In slow motion, just, wonderful. Because they've got spears with explosives on them, which they're trying to chuck at the Megs, and he just jumps out of the helicopter.
Well, I think at that point he's got a bomb that he's made out of the fertilizer.
That's correct.
Because Jason Statham
improvised.
took all the explosive spears jousting.
Rightly so. He has one of them shot out of his hand by the most accurate squad support machine gun you've ever seen.
But all of the other shots in the film miss, obviously, but that one.
Oh, yeah.
Spot on. I really enjoyed. So whilst at the bottom of the ocean, everyone is trapped down there and trying to figure out how they're going to get out, Mac and DJ are up top. They've realized who the traitor is, and they're doing their little, like, sneaking around. Yeah. That if we can get here, we can call for help, kind of thing. Uh-huh. And they are trapped in a room, and there's some bad guys outside, and DJ pulls out his little fucking, like, adventure backpack that's now full of things that will help him in this kind of situation.
Yep.
And he gets out a taser and some pepper spray, and he says, we'll open the door. I'll pepper spray them. We count to 10.
Yes,
you run out and tase them. And he pepper sprays them. But then Mac panics and doesn't count to 10, runs straight out into the mist of pepper spray. Yeah. And kind of gets self-pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. It was a very funny moment.
I thought they were both great. They were so good together.
They were such a good duo.
Yeah. Oh, God. I really hope that I hope that this movie has made money. I hope that means that Wheatley can continue to make movies like this, and people don't pay attention to the critical reception of this particular one. I don't often think that, but in this case, I do. Or maybe Wheatley will take it to heart and be like, all right, I want the next one to be more fun. All right, then. Like, yeah. Rise to the challenge. Let's fucking have it, Wheatley. We can take more. But, okay. I mean, this is illustrative, I think, of my main argument about this about this being a fun movie. Slight spoiler, one of the Megs is dispatched because Jason Statham takes a rotor off of a helicopter that has crashed and uses it anime style to stab the shark through the head. Through its mouth.
Then you get a close up of his heels just moving backwards slightly on the rocks he's standing on.
Oh,
that's
Only a bit,
real. Though, because he's stronger than a Meg.
That's incalculable modesty to have allowed the camera to show his heels moving back a bit. What a gift from Mr. Statham.
Showing us all that he really is human after all.
They got a stunt double to do that. They couldn't move him backwards.
Yeah. This is another kind of spoilery one, but when he's facing off with Pedno, and favorite quote of the film, because they're like having a little fight. Jason Statham gets his gun, and the guy's like, all right, fine, just shoot me then. And Jason Statham sees that there is a Meg approaching and goes, actually, I don't need this, tosses it. Sparta kicks the guy directly into the Meg's mouth as it passes, and then goes,
I won't be needing this. See you later, chum.
Yeah, it's the best moment. That was my last one.
And I absolutely lost it.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful, wonderful moment. I think that does it for me. Do you have any others?
Nothing specific, but I will just say I really enjoyed co-parenting Dad Statham. And I will just say, just generally, I quite enjoyed Mr. Statham as a character as well. Like you said, I liked that he got to like also do stuff. It was a bit like split sometimes between like who's the protagonist. But I enjoyed that he was equally as stupid as Jason Statham, just with smaller bicep.
Well, that's gonna do it from us. But tell you what, I think maybe we should check in with the OG team. OG team. No, it doesn't look like we've had any comments. Maybe
too busy watching Barbenheimer.
I think everyone's been too busy Barbenheimering, and that is fair enough. But please do try and check out the Meg, especially if there is a chance to see it in 4DX.
And you have a good bra.
Get a good bra, folks. It's a good general piece of advice.
Maybe wear some really thick pants to avoid awkward situations.
Wear some thick pants. Again, this is just good life advice. Let's talk about the one better thing, if there is one. The one better thing, if there is one.
I've got 3, technically.
Wow. Okay, I've just got the 1, so you start.
Okay, well, because this was, to me, inherently a film of 2 halves, if you enjoyed the first half of Meg, you should go and watch Underwater.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Incredible. And has my wife in it, actually, Kristen Stewart.
And has my wife in it, Jessica Hennick.
Wow, so many spouses. So it's that, or now this is cheeky. It's not a film, but it's a video game.
Subnautica?
Soma.
Oh, Soma. Yes, very good.
Yes,
Yeah.
for walking across ocean trenches with big horrible things.
Yep.
Questioning.
They'll get
everything.
you. They question everything. That's the worst thing about
And
them.
then, if it's the second half delight you're looking for, then of course, obviously, the 2009 masterpiece Mega Shark vs Giant Octopus has everything you need.
All the pieces were there.
And listen, if any of you ever need any shark film recommendations, I have seen all of them. And I mean all of them.
You need to start a podcast.
I've already promised to start a cryptid dating podcast. So
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
cool.
Be busy.
Can I? Well, I mean, Sharktopus is going to be all over that, surely. Big smile, lots of limbs. That's what women like, right?
Absolutely.
My One Better Thing's a little unusual because I've not actually seen it yet. I've just seen the trailers and I've heard the buzz, and it looks like fun. The movie is called The Dive, from this year, and it is about a mother and daughter go diving, and the mum ends up getting trapped at the bottom of the sea in a rock slide. So it's up to the daughter to sort of keep going back up to the surface and doing various things to get more oxygen, to try and get help, all sorts of things. It looks very good. It looks very stressful. I kind of want
tense.
Tense. It looks unbelievably tense. I kind of want someone to spoil this for me and just tell me if they end up okay or not, because I don't know.
Look it up on Wikipedia for you.
It hasn't got a Wikipedia page yet, so I'm gonna wait for them.
No.
And then I will go and see it. But I'm really worried this is gonna end with a dead mum.
Send OGT DMs on X/Twitter.
Yeah.
Just say, not in detail.
Oh God, I've just looked up a review, and it just says the ending was not what I thought it would be, which is a good thing, as an element of the unexpected is good. Aliens, I bet.
Aliens. Yeah, she journeyed to the center of the earth. So.
Or AI. She stays there pining for her mum forever, and then eventually aliens land and give her one perfect day with her mum.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
I'm sad about AI
We've
again.
solved it. We should write films.
We should write old films. The one better thing. There is one. Bex, how can people find out about your endeavours and all the things that you're up to?
If you enjoy listening to me being silly and maybe funny, I don't know, I laugh and that's what counts. You can catch me at Roll Plus Heart, the queer actual play podcast, where we play fun, silly queer games and sometimes even remember to roll dice. And I'm just going to do a little plug here. If you're not subscribed to our Patreon, well, if you're subscribed to our Patreon, you can get amazing goodies, including stickers, prints, and T-shirts. And we've actually just hit a stretch goal, so we've put off the recording of our next episode because instead I'll be reciting the entirety of The Mummy 1999 from memory to prove my gay credentials.
Damn,
you can support us from as little as £1 a week if you want to hear that nonsense, plus loads of bonus games and stuff. And if you want to see me personally, you can find me under Starling Dust on every one of the 3 million social media sites that exist now. Blue Sky, Mastodon, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. I'm on them all. And you can also find me over at Twitch, where I'm very slowly making a return to streaming. You can come and hang out and have fun. You can also find me holding hands with Jason Statham, walking into the sunset as he punches things with his free hand.
That's the dream. Can you give us a little preview with the first line of The Mummy, 1999?
Thebes,
Yeah.
city of the living.
Yeah.
Crown jewel of Pharaoh Seti I.
Very good. Fuck yeah, that's a good movie.
I could go on, but I need to save myself.
You've got to save it. Come on, don't do it for free. You've got to pay to see that. Oh God, there'll be character voices, costumes even, but you won't see those, but you'll hear
Quite
them.
possibly costumes.
Well, excellent. And yes, for OGT, it's all the usual places, all the usual faces, mine and Paul's. And just go out there and have a look and you'll find it, as well as Quest Fantastic, Jen the Film Critic, and other things that we're involved in. But for now, it's goodbye for me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And remember, the one good thing about Meg to the Trench is that, spoiler alert, Pippin makes it.
Yay!
I'm so sure that dog was going to fucking die. So sure.
You were owed a dog death.
I was so sure Wheatley was going to kill that fucking dog.
Meg 3 for sure.
Meg 3, Pippin Strikes Back.